Today we're going to talk about the basic materials that I use to make custom cards, maybe to give you some advice on what you would use. This is my best friend in the whole world, my headlamp. It allows me to get close to the cards with bright light to be able to see exactly what I'm cutting in very small areas. Um, some people use sports cards. I've seen some people use Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are much harder to cut in a lot of ways, so they would totally understand the idea of needing brighter light and closer proximity to be able to see to make accurate cuts. Also here you'll see a PVC board, basically like a self-healing X-Acto knife board. They have them in all different sizes. I've gotten a couple from eBay or from Amazon. They're very cheap. This one I got from Michaels, also very cheap. I do a lot of my stuff at the station that I work at for my real job, so I need it to kind of be portable. I don't have anything too big, but this is the first piece of equipment that I use. All right, next thing you'll see here is a metal ruler, basically. I don't know if there's any particular name for it or not. The way you're going to use this, though, is you're going to flip it upside down with the metal portion on the card itself, because I don't remember what video I saw this on or who gave me this advice, but you want the flat metal portion to be as close to the surface that you're cutting. That way the X-Acto knife kind of doesn't skip around or jump off the card or move around too much. Hopefully you're going to want to hold this kind of tight, because if you put pressure on the knife that you use, it has a tendency to want to move. So, all right, next thing you'll see here is a very basic purple glue stick. I get these off of Amazon. I think I get a 12 pack for like $5 or $6. I love this stuff because it's very forgiving. When you go to glue something, you can still move it afterwards. I was using crazy glue for a little bit. Very, very, very bad idea. It dries with a white film. And you got about 0.3 seconds before it doesn't want to move again. So if you screw something up, that's it. That's the end of it. It's locked, and then you either got to redo it or accept it for what it is. But the glue sticks have worked very well. You're just going to want to let them dry to see if you need to reapply anywhere, because as they dry out, if you make like a shadow box like I do, it can dry out and separate a little bit. Usually if you add enough and you add pressure after you go to glue something together, it will hold. I have people that have had cards since October, and they said they're still in very good condition. They haven't separated, they haven't dried out, nothing like that. So I strongly recommend the purple glue sticks. Super cheap, super easy, basically built for kindergartners, which is pretty much where we're at. Next up is some more Elmer's glue. This is the, as you can see, washable clear glue. I use this stuff for, if I don't use a patch, I will use, like I use charms in some of them, almost like dangle charms. This glue works very good. It does dry clear. I haven't seen any issues after it's dried. I will glue it over like holographic or chrome vinyl, so if it doesn't dry clear, it's going to be very obvious. I haven't seen too many issues. I can also apply it to the cardboard borders that I use. Like, you can use this in lieu of the glue stick, but I prefer this. All right, this is double-sided Scotch tape. I use this for any of the patches or anything that I have. Another reason why I use this instead of the crazy glue is because it is very forgiving. You can peel it back up off the vinyl if you want to. You have to be careful with that, because it can create more bubbles. It can damage the vinyl. It can leave residue. So you don't want to put, what I do is I set it down, a patch down with the double-sided tape on it, and then I will move it, and then I will push it down. When applying this stuff to patches, you also want to make sure that you put the tape on the patch, not the vinyl. And you want to make sure you get all the spots that you think might lift up, which can be a little bit of a headache with some of the patches that I use. You have like smaller ends and stuff, but you don't want that to lift up underneath the card, because it will just be a complete eyesore. So, but I strongly recommend the double-sided tape. Very forgiving and allows for mess ups. So next up is a basic pair of scissors. You do want them to be sharp. You don't want them to be bent. You will have an issue. Not for cutting vinyl or anything like paper, cardboard. That stuff's easy, and most of the time I use an X-Acto knife for even the bigger stuff. But for patches, if you want to cut it within the shadow box itself, if you have scissors that are not completely straight or bowed in any way, they're going to bend on an angle when they cut, obviously. And then you're going to have issues when you go to put the patch in the shadow box, and then you're going to have gaps, and it's a friggin' nightmare. And then you have potentially a wasted patch, so you want to be careful with that. All right, this is a basic number 11 X-Acto knife, or X-Acto blade. The blade handle that you see here, I got off of Amazon. I have big friggin' ham hocks of hands, so I needed something bigger than what basic stuff comes with. Very cheap on Amazon. Get one that you're comfortable with. I also get the replacement blades. I think it's like 100 of them for between $8 and $10 or something like that. Use fresh blades on every card. I know most people use multiple blades on cards, especially chrome cards. It matters a lot. I also use this, which is a scalpel, still a number 11 blade. I use this for trimming. So I will do all the big cuts, all the straight border cuts with the other one. This one I will trim around the image as well as on an angle to try and take some of the underside off so that way it doesn't look as, like you can't see the white cardboard as much. Hopefully. Obviously it's not perfect. Obviously it's being hand done. That's kind of what this is all about. When you get something, it's unique. It's one of a kind. It's done by hand. You know, people were thinking I was using a Cricut for a while or something else to cut it, and I'm like, no man, this is by hand. It can take several hours per card. And they were kind of a little bit shocked, not because it was awesome, they just thought it was being machine done. This is how you do it. If you use the right tools, it can look good. Plain old Sharpie. I also use sticker paper, holographic sticker paper, and I use a regular inkjet printer, and I made my own backings. I do this, do not try to pass my cards as anything else other than custom cards. I use them from real cards, but I don't reprint anything. I don't try to scam anything. This hobby, including even custom cards, is filled with people that are trying to be complete scumbags. I strongly recommend this. You can also brand yourself, your stuff. Plus, you don't ever have to worry about trying to scam anybody or anybody questioning you on that, because it is blatantly a custom piece of cardboard, you know? So as long as you're not reprinting anything, you can't really get in trouble. And, you know, so you also don't want to try to ever in a million years pass it off as an original. That really, really makes people very unhappy. These are just some basic patches that I have. I've gotten all of them off of eBay. They're basically hat patches. You're going to want to, in the product description, see the dimensions that the seller is telling you that they are. Obviously, a sports card is, you know, 3.5 inches tall by 2.5 inches wide. So somewhere in that wheelhouse, you want the patch to be close to. Obviously, some of these are a little bit larger. I got to trim them down. Sometimes when you use no borders, it's a little bit more forgiving, but I get all my patches off of eBay. There's a couple of sellers that I've used and I save them. Normal holographic vinyl, all different kinds, crafting vinyl, self-adhesive vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, all off of Amazon, anywhere from $8 to like up to $20 for bundles. Totally worth it. You can be as creative as you want and obviously as colorful as you want. My opinion is the more colorful, the better. I know some people want things to be very toned down and traditional, but I love this stuff. This is the stuff that I think makes these things pop. And then you have to be creative in what color, just, you know, color scheme you use and all that kind of stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff here. These are two more vinyls. On the left is a glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Big fan favorite. People love this stuff. It glows bright. I have other glow-in-the-dark vinyl, but this stuff is like, it lights up. And the one on the right is a holographic foil vinyl that when you peel it back where you see the white grid, if you put another colored piece of something underneath it, it allows it to be kind of like two-tone, which is really nice, and again, to make some of the cards pop. But there's no limit to this stuff. Once you go onto Amazon and you put crafting vinyl, or I like to put holographic crafting vinyl, just shop away and you will see all of the stuff. This is holographic, I guess, overlay or film, whatever you want to call it. I add this to some stuff. If you look through the catalog of cards that I have done, you will see this in different layers of the cards. I will do videos on like putting cards together and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I use this stuff, sometimes I don't. So you'll see this stuff. It's just basic stuff. Buy a package of it. It's, I want to say maybe $20. You'll get 6 or 8 different types of designs in it. You know, it lasts a pretty long time. You know, I mean, you probably get 10 cards per sheet-ish. Maybe a little bit less depending on what you're using it for. Plus nameplates and all kinds of other stuff. You can get real exotic with this stuff. All right, well, that's enough boring you guys for today. Do another video soon on either putting one together or who knows what. So thanks for watching. Bye.